To export symbols without history, like this butterfly here, it's a 3-shaper model. There's not much history to it, so I'll do it without history. You just select the entire model, go to File, Export, and change the file type to symbols. When you do this, it'll automatically take you to your symbols folder. I'll show you where that's located a little bit later. Inside of that folder, you can create as many subfolders that you'd like. So I have a 3-shaper folder here. I'll put it inside there. And we give it a name. And simply hit save. Now every time you save a symbol, it'll bring up this little screenshot window. You can navigate it just like you would your normal viewport, or use the orientations here. The options, you're not going to use these first one. The transport snapshot, instead of a black background, you could have a clear background like a PNG. And then you have the keep history option. So since we're doing this one without history, I'm going to keep that unchecked and just go ahead and validate. Symbol's been exported. A little bit later, I'll show you how to use those symbols. Next, I'll export a symbol with history. So this file has curves and a lot of history to it, so I may want to export it with the entire history. So we'll go again to select the main parts of the object. Whatever you have selected will get included in the screenshot. Everything else will just be imported in the tree. You do a file export. Okay, and if you're not in the symbols folder, you can always change the file type and then switch back to symbols. That'll take you right back to the symbols folder. So if you're not sure if you're in the symbols folder, do that little trick to be sure you're in there. And then we will figure out which subfolder I want. If I want to create a new subfolder, there is a new folder button here, and you can name that folder. I'll call this Rings with History, and double click inside the folder and give that a name. Okay. The only difference this time is we will check the keep history button and then validate. Okay. That's it for exporting with history. To import symbols, you simply grab the blue bar at the bottom of the screen and pull up, and you'll see your symbol library. You can see there are going to be symbols with a white label and symbols with a green label. The ones with the white label are without history, green is with history. If you are navigating and you've just created the symbol, you may not find it because the library does not update itself. Hit the reload green button here in the corner, and then you can find the symbols that you've saved. So for my 3-shaper folder here, I have the butterfly. So the file without history, simply drag it in. You can also double click and then set up your import options, scaling, and position, etc. Okay. You cannot import symbols into the file that it was created in, so always import it into a new file or an existing file. For a file with history, double click does not work all the time, so instead you may have to drag it into the scene. Let me hide this butterfly here. You'll notice that anytime you import a symbol with history, it's going to give you a new part in the tree, so this tree will have all of the history of that model. Finally, let's talk about where your symbols are stored on your computer. Like I mentioned, when you're exporting, you always export to the symbol folder. Go ahead and minimize 3Design. Right now, I'll show you on the PC version. If I navigate to my computer on the C drive, you will find your 3Design installation folder. There is a Y3K folder in there as well. Do not use that one. If you do and you update 3Design or overwrite 3Design, you'll lose that library. 3Design installs a specific folder in your user folder down here further. Just navigate and find your username and then you will find the Y3K Joule folder. This has a lot of folders in it. These are different things that you save, materials, images, symbols, of course, and templates. So this is your symbol folder that you're saving into. And the reason they put this folder in a separate location is when you reinstall or put a new version of 3Design, it won't overwrite this folder, so you can continue to keep using the same library throughout 3Design. So you see all of my subfolders in here, etc. So once you're in here, you can then clean up this folder if you want to get rid of something. Let's say this Stars and Stripes ring here. You'll notice there's 2 files for each named item. One will be a symbol, one will be, this is not a good example, those are, oh yeah. One is a symbol, one is a JPEG. It may also be a PNG depending on how it was saved. So if you make any changes to this, make sure you change the name of both of them, leaving the extensions the same. If you're deleting them from your library, just delete both from the folder. So always do whatever you're doing to both of them. You can also organize them by, again, selecting both the symbol and the picture and dropping those into subfolders. You can also create new folders to organize your library. Okay, next we'll show you where the Mac folder is located. On Macs, your symbol folder is located in your user folder. Make sure you're in list view and look for a shortcut for Y3K Joule. And that's it. There's how to import, export symbols with and without history and where your folders are stored.